race, bones live. You see they're dry. You see there's no marrow in the bone. You see they're scattered all over the valley. They ain't even full skeletons. I mean, the bones are scattered all over the valley. They're just bones. But answer me a question, Ezekiel. Can these bones live? Ezekiel answers the only way he knows how to answer. Lord, you know. Critical race theory was born out of critical legal theory. Am I teaching y'all something today? There emerged two common beliefs linking all critical race theories. First, white supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's just a fact. How in the world are you going to fight against that being taught in any school? White supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's a fact. Why don't you want that to be taught in school? You let your schools teach us that Columbus discovered America. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that George Washington couldn't tell a lie. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that some slave owners were beneficent and good slave owners. There were no good slave owners. Anybody who owned people was evil. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that Abraham Lincoln was good for Negroes. No, Abraham Lincoln was trying to save the Union. And Abe Lincoln himself said if he could save the Union and keep black people in chains, he would do it. That's a lie. Come on, somebody. You let them teach us about a white Jesus. You let them teach us that Native Americans were the aggressors. Come on, somebody. That white folk had a manifest destiny and that the pilgrims were good and Native Americans. That's a lie. All day, every day, you let them teach us lies. All throughout my history in school, I was taught lies. But you got a problem with critical race theory because it teaches the truth that white supremacy has subordinated black people and people of color. The right to bear arms. Let me just back up a little bit and let me take you on back to the late 1960s when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California. And they were oppressing black folk, and a group of men and women known as the Black Panther Party decided that they were going to defend the rights of black folk. And the Black Panthers decided that the Second Amendment wasn't just for white folk. So they strapped themselves with guns and showed up at the Capitol in California. And when they saw them Negroes with guns, come on, somebody. That's why I say if you ever really want to get gun laws changed, just strap all these Negroes up. They'll change them laws before the week is over. When the Black Panthers, watch this, I want you to read, the California legislator passed what was called the Mulford Act. It was a gun control act that decided who could get guns, who couldn't get guns, what could be in your background, what couldn't be in your background. It was the first time in history that the National Rifle Association, the NRA, supported restrictive gun legislation, all because black folk had the nerve to get strapped. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, go get strapped. Amen, somebody. Y'all gonna say Bishop told us to get strapped. I said it. Go get strapped. It just got real quiet up in here. But y'all already know I'm a triple P. Amen. Y'all know what a triple P is, right? A pistol packing preacher. Amen, somebody. bar. What's good, family? The work's not done just because you made it to the palace. Tell a friend, tell somebody Bishop is on the air right now. To help somebody else make it across. Let's get it. Don't pull up the ladder because you climbed to the top. Don't blow up the bridge because you made your way across. Thank you, Jesus. But reach your hand back. Let's get it. And pull somebody else up out of Lodabar. Yeah. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. That's the name of the Lord. Somebody got to tell themselves it's all right if you got it now. Just hold it for me. I'll be there to get it after a while. Oh, bless the name of the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. You got to make up in your mind that what God has for me, it is for me. I might not have it right now. I may not get it next week. You might try to stop me from getting it. But if God said it's mine, I want you to know after a while, I'm going to get what belongs to me. Sometimes God got to strip what you got so you don't depend on yourself. You got to take away from you so you understand how to depend on El Shaddai. Come on in here. Thank you, Jesus. Our young people are dying. 90.7 WTCC. Good morning and welcome to the Spoken Word. I'm your host, Bishop Talbert Swan II. And as usual, we'll be telling it like it is through cultural idioms and nuances that shape the order, ethos, and chaos of the African-American experience. Words have their own vitality. They shape their own consciousness and create their own context for interpreting social and spiritual reality. The spoken word contains the power to reshape the landscape of society. It is 7 minutes now past the hour of 9 o'clock. And I want to thank Mr. Kenneth Barnett for bringing us up until the 9 o'clock hour with the promise. You can hear the promise every Monday morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., bringing you the best in gospel music. Good way to start out your Monday morning. Great way to start out your week. It is Memorial Day weekend. Hope you've enjoyed your time off. Those of you who are off today, you're probably sleeping, not even on the program. That's all good. Get your rest. Take that time off. And of course, I want to shout out and remember those Black persons who served in the U.S. military, who fought for a nation that didn't fight for them. They fought for the ideals of a nation that really wasn't serious about the ideals of freedom, justice, and equality for everybody. But I also want to shout out to those who lost their lives on the field of battle against white supremacy, racism, and anti-Black bigotry in this nation. We've got so many martyrs who gave their lives so that we can have a better life in these yet to be United States of America. And I always take some time on Memorial Day to shout out those soldiers who have fought the good fight of faith against injustice. Um, so let's remember them on today as well. 413-736-2781. 413-736-2781. Welcomes to everybody who is tuning in to the program, wherever you're tuning in from, okay? All of you all who are here in the Pioneer Valley, welcome. Massachusetts, Connecticut, Vermont, everywhere throughout the valley where you're tuning in from. And welcome to everybody who's tuning in from all points, from everywhere else via the World Wide Web. Welcome to you as well. Do me a favor, rep your city, rep your town. Let somebody know Bishop is on the air right now. All right, let me know. I already see H-Town checking in. Always, H-Town is always checking in strong. Those in the Twitter space, YouTube, wherever you're at, do me a favor, check in. Let me know what part of the world you're coming from. If you're awake on this Memorial Day, or if you're still kind of, whatever from yesterday, you did a little too much of this or too much of that, and you, but you're still up. You're still here. Good morning. Today I'm going to talk about this thing about centering whiteness. Centering whiteness. There was a and I'll play you the clip of what the gentleman had to say. It was a gentleman who is over a committee that is planning a Juneteenth celebration. And there was some uproar because some of the banners that were hung across the city celebrating or advertising the celebration had a white couple on it. And people were wondering, why are you advertising Juneteenth with white people? And he explained they wanted to be inclusive. Yeah. So they wanted to center white people about Juneteenth. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this centering white folks. Tell a friend, tell somebody. Bishop is on the air. Yeah, it's Memorial Day, but we ain't talking about U.S. wars and stuff. No, not doing that today. But we are talking about centering whiteness. So let somebody know I'm on the air. Don't you dare go nowhere. Check this out. This is 413 United, Brothers United. This is called United We Stand. Stick around. I do a spoken word piece on the end, but it features some of our best. Reverend Jesse Burgess, Brother J.P. Morgan Jr., Tu Balk Knight, Matt Bernard. I mean, there's just so many from right here in the 413 featured on here. So check it out. Don't go nowhere. Share this with a friend. Rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from. We'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. Nowhere. You understand? Nowhere. Things don't seem right. We can make a great difference if we stand up and fight. Police brutality. We can't watch this for long. We gotta stand all across this world and show that we are real strong. Bonding together to make a great change. Getting a child from above. Working for one another. Everything that you do, you can lean on me, I'll lean on you, and we will get through. United we stand, divided we fall. Things work better together. Stand for one
spread the love of Jesus and go to heaven together. Mountain had a dream, the things would be fair, not by the grain of our hair, color of our skin, but the love that's within. Here's the thing that you'll do. You can lean on me, I'll lean on you. We will get through. Daily step, divided we fall. Things work better together. Stand for one and for all. We work hard. Things don't seem right. We can make a great difference if we stand up and fight. Yeah, the Bible says man's days are few and full of trouble. And I bet you they say it's even worse for a black man trying to escape the hypocrisy in the U.S. and lower statistics. Listen to people telling us you blessed. While dreams are getting shattered, daily gold dust in the land of the free is subjective, not what they told us. Social injustice, inequality, and lack of compassion have turned every black man into Michael Jackson. This is it, they're making us want to scream. How they turn around and accuse us, we're their Billie Jean. But if we stand united, there's no way they can divide us. We must lift up our voice and stop expecting change in silence. Collaboration of a peculiar and holy nation. Instead of hate, we should use prayer as motivation. The clock is ticking, time is almost up. It's time to stand up and fight before we're always stuck. All right, I see you, Reverend Burgess, checking in from Arkansas. I see you, H-Town, in the building. I see you, Charlotte, North Kakalaki. I see you, North Carolina, 2nd jurisdiction. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The Field in the house, Maryland in the house, H-Town in the house, New Jersey in the house, Houston deep in the house. Who else is up in here? Come on now. Where y'all at? Instagram. Tallahassee on the gram. DC on the gram. Good morning, good morning. Toronto on the gram. Good morning, good morning. Rep your city, rep your town. Let's get it. Overtime to divide us. Through this nation, he's tried castration, lynching, miseducation. We were taught to hate ourselves. Chicago. Tainted lenses. They put us in prisons. I see you, Atiba Buchanan, my man. They considered us inferior. Y'all check out my interview with Atiba on my Instagram about the Florida travel advisory. Slow, dim-witted, and worthless. But if we hold on to God, we'll realize that we're valuable. If we weren't so valuable and didn't have the potential to be so powerful, the world would not be so bent on exterminating our very existence. So I came to tell you that we may have struggles, there may be hardships, but day by day, one step at a time, we push to survive. We continue to work. We learn how to thrive. We have to ease our egos, preach to our pride. There is a way against these odds, and it's through our God. Our crowns are made of gold, our resilience like stone. We are kings worthy of abundance, the greatest warriors this world has known. It's not what they call us that makes us like pure gold. It's the gift we are. I see my baby girl. Good morning. We are fathers, uncles, brothers, cousins, sons, nephews, husbands, and friends. We are the reason our people will never accept defeat again. We keep our heads up high, although deep inside, sometimes we want to cry as they try to keep us chained and bound, cutting off our feet, trying to keep us down. Yet we stand up for our women, for our children, our communities, and our friends. We stand tall as examples and as a legacy to other young men. No man, no woman can stand on your back unless we lay down on the ground. Our people need us to lift up our voices together and make a certain sound. The sound of peace, justice, unity, and love. A sound echoed with passion and empowered from our Creator above. The sound of iron sharpening iron. Men protecting, fathers directing, brothers respecting, and all of us expecting our children to rise, our wives to smile, our families to thrive, our neighborhoods to be safer, our situations to get better, because we are brothers together, holding each other up, supporting each other, loving each other, defending one another, and staying connected to a God that has anointed us, appointed us, lifted us, gifted us, empowered us, inspired us, saved us, raised us, and made us to be men of integrity, men of character, men full of the Spirit. We've got dreams in our hearts, visions in our minds, a charge to keep, a God to glorify, a sermon to preach, a song to sing, a way to walk, a trumpet to blow, a life to live, a family to raise, a world to change, because we're the head and not the tail. We're above and not beneath. We are directed, protected, selected, born to win, chosen to conquer. Come here, MC Hammer. We're too legit to quit. Come here, Rakim. We ain't no joke. Come here, LL. Oh, we're bad because united we stand. Let's get it, y'all. Let's go.
I look in the mirror and I like what I see. A strong, beautiful black woman staring back at me. One who's seen a lot of pain and had her share of sorrow, but who never gave up hope for a brighter tomorrow.
London, England in the building.
Cheated on, stolen from, and hit. But it just made me stronger and I refuse to quit. That's right. And though I've been tempted, I refuse to stoop to their level. I rose above that nonsense and made a liar of the devil. All right now. The devil who said I wasn't good enough, cute enough, or worthy of love.
All right, get that latte out the way.
Power from above. Power that says I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me and brought me out of darkness
so that I could see
that I'm smart,
I'm beautiful, I'm a child of the King.
Abundant love for me he came to bring. Oh yes, when I look in the mirror, I love what I see. That strong, beautiful black woman, that woman is me.
90.7 WTCC. Good morning to you, and you, all of you who are chiming in from everywhere throughout different parts of the world. London, England in the building on the gram. Chicago's in the building. In Texas is in the building. My man, Ateba Buchanan, WVON, the voice of the Negro. Yeah, the voice of the black community in Chicago is tuned in. Tallahassee, Florida is in the building. Toronto is in the building. New Jersey's in the building. H-Town is deep North Carolina is in the building. Of course, the field, y'all better be in the building. They're in the building. Who else is? New York is in the building. Maryland is in the building. Yes. Good morning to each and every one of you on this Memorial Day. Welcome. Hope you've enjoyed your weekend thus far. Shout out to my boy, my baby boy. My wife said he ain't no baby. My son Lazine, we had a great weekend of celebration for him. He graduated from my alma mater, graduated with his degree in architecture from the University of Massachusetts. He pledged my fraternity there at Beta Beta chapter at UMass. I was Polaris of the chapter, which I was when I was there 30 some odd years ago. So proud of that young man. And then my wife got the realization that he's grown because he came home and then he disappeared last night. She was wondering where he was. I said, yeah, he's kind of grown now. But anyway, congratulations. So proud of my boy. And hope you all had a great weekend and continuing with whatever you're doing with your family. Enjoy them. Enjoy them. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us. Not promised to any of us. And it becomes painstakingly clear the older you get, when your circles begin shrinking as people begin to transition and leave. We'll be having the celebration of life for Brother Arnold Moore, a young man that I grew up with here in the city. His father came to pastor my church when I was about 13 years old. He was about 10 or 11. So we came along together, and he was a member of the church that I pastor. He was our organist, and he died earlier this month unexpectedly, and we'll be having his celebration of life on Wednesday. For those who are interested in attending, 10 to 11 will be the calling hours. 11 o'clock will be the celebration of life at the Deliverance Center Ministries Church of God in Christ. And so our continued prayers go out to his family. And so, like I said, tomorrow's not promised. So enjoy your family. Enjoy your loved ones. Live every day like it could be your last, because one day you'll be right. 413-736-2781. Let me play. I gotta play this clip. So, now centering whiteness is nothing that's new. You know, it's nothing that's unique. It's just kind of what happens in America, and what has always happened in America. But it becomes very problematic for me when Black folks feel it necessary to center whiteness. Thank you, Brown's Thrill. That we feel the need that we have to safeguard white folks' feelings. I see you, Ypsilanti, Michigan, in the building. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, up in the building. I see you. We feel like we have to safeguard their feelings. Listen, white feelings are not more important than Black lives. Let me say that one more again. White feelings are not more important than Black lives. And we got to stop acting like we need to protect white folk feelings because they don't want to hear about racism and white supremacy. If they're tired of hearing about it, how the hamburger do you think we feel about experiencing it? Okay? We've experienced it for 400 years in this nation, but they tired of hearing about it. I really don't care. I don't care. You may think that's callous. You know, okay, whatever. But I don't care about their feelings when it comes to us challenging the oppression that we have to experience. So let me get this. So this brother, oh man. This brother, I'm trying to think of where it took place at. Oh, somebody help me out. Where did that take place? Let me look it up real quick. The Juneteenth celebration, the controversy was over the fact that they were centering a white couple on banners throughout the city. And so he came to try to explain it. Okay, it was in South Carolina. All right. Greenville, South Kakalaki. So the brother in Greenville decided he was going to explain why they were centering white people in the Juneteenth banner. So let's hear what the brother had to say.
In the streets tonight. The images on the flag were very intentional, and it was intentional for the fact that no matter what you want to do, it takes everybody to come together and to support and to push any vision forward. And we have for so long been asking for a seat at the table. We have been knocking at the door. Include us. And now that we have a seat at the table, the last thing we want to do is what's been done to us for years, is exclude. We've been excluded.
Okay. I got to stop gigging to the song. Listen. I mean, did you hear what he said? You know, we've been looking for a seat at the table. And, you know, for so long, we were excluded. And so we don't want to do the same thing to white folks that they did to us. We don't want to exclude them. So we want to include them. Wait. Bruh. We were more than excluded. Tried, trafficked, enslaved, raped, lynched, murdered, segregated, mass incarcerated. Brother, we were excluded. We don't want to exclude them. We don't want to do the same thing to them. This is what I'm talking about. How in the world, after everything that black people have been through in this nation, are you sitting up here coming out your face talking about now that we got a seat at the table? What seat at what table do you have? Now that we got a seat at the table, we don't want to exclude the white man. What is wrong with these people? What it? Oh, Father God. Are you serious? I mean, are you serious right now? Are you seriously telling me that the major concern for you as an organizer of a Juneteenth event is you don't want to exclude white people? Is that what you telling me, brother? Are you really telling me that the major concern is to not make white people feel excluded? So you actually put white people on a banner and hung it up across the city of Greenville, South Carolina, advertising Juneteenth. I mean, do you see Negroes on St. Patrick's Day flyers or banners because they don't want to exclude Negroes? Do you see Greek festival banners with black people on them because they want to make us feel included? Do you see the Puerto Rican Day Parade banners with Negroes on it? Why are we the only people that feel like we need to include everybody. Everybody else is able to say, you know what? And I don't blame them. Italians advocate for Italians. Puerto Ricans advocate for Puerto Ricans. Irish people advocate for Irish folk. Asian people advocate for Asian. We the only people who feel like we gotta advocate for everybody. And then we get lost in the mix. No, the official Juneteenth flag is not red, white, and blue designed by a white couple. That's that banner that was created by this group in Greenville that has the white couple on the banner. That's what we're talking about, this centering of whiteness. It's bad enough when white folks always feel like they got to center themselves. But we got to center them too. Come on, man. That dude said, let me play it again because I don't think y'all heard what he said. He said, we've been excluded for so long. We can't exclude other people.
In the streets tonight. The images on the flag were very intentional, and it was intentional for the fact that no matter what you want to do, it takes everybody to come together and to support and to push any vision forward. And we have for so long been asking for a seat at the table. We have been knocking at the door, include us. And now that we have a seat at the table, the last thing we want to do is what's been done to us for years, is exclude. We've been excluded. You were cool like Condoleezza Rice. You were cool, can't forget about cool.
Listen. The last thing we want to do, we don't want to exclude. It takes everybody to push division. Are they knocking on your door? Say, hey, come here, Mr. Baldhead Negro. We want to include some Negroes in what we're doing. We want to center blackness. Oh, Lord have mercy. It's as bad as Nancy Pelosi and them wearing kente cloth at the Capitol. This is some foolishness. Okay? White centering is putting white folks' feelings above black causes. And white people do this, even the ones that call themselves our so-called allies. Okay? It's centering of white people, white values, white norms, white feelings over everything else. Over everything else. It manifests itself in tone policing, white fragility, white exceptionalism, and in outright violence. And we are the last people that ought to be talking about centering whiteness and placing their feelings above our culture, above advocating for justice. Juneteenth is about black people. It ain't about including everybody. It's about our story. Period. That's it, and that's all. It ain't about centering white folks. Stop this foolishness. Come through, M1. Holler at your man. 413-736-2781.
Hello, good afternoon, Bishop.
Good morning.
Yeah, morning. I'm just gonna say this, and any single time an event is coming up for like black people, that's when the so-called white conservatives just start to find videos of black people beating up white people, and like during Black History Month, like in this year, they found so many violent videos of black people beating up white people, and they're like, "Oh, this is how Black History Month is going." Especially the likes of Charlie Kirk and Steven Crowder. Even white liberals too, they aren't for black people. Like white liberals are literally like snakes in the green grass. They literally act like they're literally allies of black people, but they never call out the anti-black racism that goes on every single time. Every single time. So I don't think we black people, we really have allies. We just need to stay within them ourselves, because whenever white people are celebrating at their event, they don't try to include like black people. So why the hell are we trying to include black people in our events? Sorry, like white people in our events, is because these so-called white people, where the liberals or conservatives, they don't view we black people as an equal. Because look how when Don Lemon must have owned the Vivek Ramaswamy guy, the white liberal woman next to him was very uncomfortable when he was talking to them about race. And those are the people that we black people call our allies. Liberals, no, conservatives are our allies. So I don't think so. All this so-called allies that we're looking for, it's not really worth it. The best thing that black people can do at the moment is stick with each other. And we also need to boycott Tesla, because Elon Musk has been pushing a lot of anti-black racism on his own page as well too. And the reason why I bought Twitter was to further white supremacy. That's the reason why I actually bought Twitter. It was to further the whole white supremacy.
Well, Twitter has definitely become a bastion for white supremacy under his leadership. Thank you for your commentary. 413-736-2781. No, there is no official Juneteenth flag. I'm not saying that you did not see one with the white couple on it, because that's the one we're talking about, the one pushed by this group in Greenville. But the Juneteenth banners and flags that I've seen are red, black, and green. It says Juneteenth Freedom Day. But there are various versions of Juneteenth flags. There is no official one with white people on it. That's not official. And I'm not saying somebody did not create one like that, but that is not the official Juneteenth banner. For those of you in the comments that are pushing that notion, it's wrong. It is it's reprehensible, and we ought to be the last people that are pushing it. The last folk that are pushing it. And this brother is wondering why people are upset. He don't see what the big deal is. What's the big deal about us including white folks in Juneteenth? So you really going to take the descendants of the oppressors who enslaved us and put them on a banner to advertise the celebration of our freedom? What kind of coonery is that? Some of y'all brothers make me wonder, for real. I'm not wondering why white centering happens when white folks put their own perspectives and needs above oppressed people. Foolishness. They do it because that's what they're used to. They do it because the world has basically catered to white fragility forever. So whenever you have discussions about oppression, about injustice, about diversity, when that conversation moves towards talking about the equality of oppressed people or toward the enlightenment of white folks, you get them centering themselves. Not all white people. That's white centering. You know, um, everything's not about race. That's white centering. You're a racist. You hate white people. That's white centering. That's deflection. It's white centering. You know, and we're sick of white centering. We got bigger things, brothers and sisters, to worry about than their feelings. Okay? You know, we got bigger things like being systematically oppressed and murdered by police. You know, we got health disparities, we've got poverty, we got so many other things that we need to be concerned with. White people's feelings about us talking about oppression in America ain't on my radar. I'm trying to find a hamburger to give, and I can't find one. I gives none about their feelings. Okay? We've gone through too much trauma to be concerned with the feelings of the folks who have traumatized us. Well, Bishop, what can be done? Well, first of all, white folks need to monitor their own language. They ought to confront white privilege and how they communicate, because they're having an internal monologue and they're externally expressing, you know, what's going on inside of them, and sometimes they just need to shut up. I know that sounds harsh, but sometimes white folks just need to shut up. Sometimes you don't need to even chime in on the conversation. When black people are talking about the extrajudicial murder of black people, just shut up. We don't want to hear nothing about what about Chicago? What about black on black crime? Just shut up. There are times when you just need to be quiet. You just need to be quiet. I mean, just imagine for the white folks that are out there, because I know y'all be trolling my pages. For the white folks that are out there listening, just imagine your son gets murdered by police. And while you're grieving and outraged about the injustice, black folk are talking about, what about Appalachia? Huh? What about white on white crime? I mean, how insulting is that? Well, you're dealing with the trauma of grief and loss and all of that. You got insensitive people talking about what about this and what about that. Sometimes y'all just need to shut up. But it's like they can't help themselves. Can't help themselves. Because their opinion always has to matter. So it always has to be expressed. They always got to tell you what they think. We don't give a hamburger what you think. We're done centering whiteness. We're done being concerned about your feelings. Your fifis don't mean nothing in this conversation. FBA Empress, you got the mic. 413-736-2781 for those of you who want to chime in on the conversation. FBA Empress, unmute your microphone.
Good morning, Bishop. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm well. I think this is a great topic. I'm glad that you're talking about it. I agree. We got to get out of that. This is a time to center ourselves. Other groups do it. It's not a problem. I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to say one thing, Bishop, and I'm out of here.
Okay.
There is an official Juneteenth flag. It is not red, black, and green, sir. While we are not centering white people, we also need our brothers and sisters in the diaspora to understand that this is not about them either. The red, black, and green flag is a Pan African flag. I have no issues with that flag. However, this one day, Juneteenth, is about Black Americans. It's Black American history to happen on American soil. It is solely about us. The flag is red, white, and blue. It is
Okay.
our day, and we should feel no shame about centering and commemorating this
Let
day
me
to
ask you,
honor our
sis.
ancestors and ourselves while we still fight this
Let,
battle.
let me ask you,
Thank you for
sis.
letting me speak.
Let me ask you, sis. Does it have? Does this official flag? I gotta see what this looks like. Does this have a white couple on it?
No, sir. It's
Okay.
red, white, and blue, but it has the Texas Lone Star. I mean, we know the story of Juneteenth.
Yeah,
It
it's
centers
about
Texas,
Galveston,
basically.
Texas. Right. I got you. I got you. I have seen that one with the star on it. All right. Appreciate you. Thank you for that info.
Thank you.
All right. 413-736-2781. So I stand corrected. There is an official flag. It's red, white, and blue. It's got Texas Lone Star on it, not the white couple. The white couple is the banner that was produced by this group in Greenville, um, South Carolina. Um, um, so I guess so that clarifies that issue. 413-736-2781 is the number if you want to chime in on the conversation. Here's the other thing, and I know a lot of you all take the time to try to explain certain things to white folks. I've grown weary of that, and I've had so many. They email me, they'll call, they'll send messages. How can I? Here's the deal. It's not the job of black people to educate white folks on the history of racism and oppression in America. It's not our duty to tell them how to fight racism. There are plenty of resources that are out there. We are not your secretaries. Do your own research. Figure it out yourself. We don't need to teach you about the history of oppression in America. You already know about it. That's why you're spending so much time trying to bury it, trying to hide it, trying to ban books, trying to ban teaching of it in the schools, calling it CRT and all that kind of stuff. You know exactly what it is. And it ain't our job to educate you on your own history. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey Bishop, how you doing? This is Anita.
I'm good. You?
I'm doing good. Happy Memorial Day. And yeah, shout out to all the ones that fought for a nation that did not fight nor love them. But yeah, it's so crazy because Memorial Day came out of Charleston, South Carolina.
Sure did.
The topic, yep, and the topic is about Greenville, South Carolina, which is about 3 hours away. I live in Greenville. Well, I live on the outskirts now, because of gentrification. So Greenville, in case you guys don't know, so Greenville, South Carolina wants to be known as like a corporate melting pot to the detriment of Black Americans, of Black South Carolinians that have lived here for years, years, years before they even came on the scene. So it's still surprising, but it's not surprising that you have Greenville born and bred people on that committee that still decided to have, white people. They didn't even have, and the kicker is, they couldn't even have a full cohesive Black American family to show, but you're gonna put a man and a woman, a white man and a white woman as Juneteenth. So this is just another. You can see that we've been co-opted again.
Mm-hmm.
It. I don't know, guys. Wake up. I don't know what I can say to my Black South Carolinians, but we have to do better. We have to wake up because next year we're going into election year, and we have to be a cohesive voting bloc. Again, I wish that Black Republicans and Black Democrats can get together and just form a voting bloc because, as you can see, yet again, they are fine with paper genociding us. So, but all in all, great topic per usual. And have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank you, sis. Appreciate you. That's a voice right there from Greenville, South Carolina, giving you the lowdown, in terms of what is happening out there. And yeah, Memorial Day started actually by Black people, commemorating Black people who had served. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Look that up. Google that. Um, um, so, like I was saying, it's not our job to educate you. And here's the thing: it's basic human decency to have empathy about the trauma of others. It's like walking into a funeral and saying, "I lost people too." I mean, how callous is that? What you crying for? You ain't the only person who lost a loved one. I lost somebody too. Where you can't have the basic human empathy to look at somebody else's plight, to try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, that you always have to center yourself and make your feelings the topic of discussion, no matter what the situation is. And that's basically what has happened in America and continues to happen. And now we got Black people who have jumped on this bandwagon and feel like we have to water down our own message. We have to water down the way that we challenge anti-Black racism and make it more palatable to white people. I was being interviewed when I went into my doctoral program. I had actually went through a doctoral program, and the school that I was going to stopped doing the D-Min program. And so those of us who were already enrolled were basically ferreted over to another school to complete our program. And they had the audacity in this interview to tell me that they had some concerns about some of my public statements, and they wanted to, make sure they had the right students who would represent. So I said, first of all, I don't represent your school. I'm just completing my degree here because the school I was at discontinued the program. But I make no apologies about any of the public statements that I have made challenging white supremacy. And that's what they basically want to do. They want to force you to temper your comments, to be more cognizant of their feelings as you're making your commentary. So I said one time, there's no such thing as blue lives. Stop comparing your employment to my actual existence. And white folks went off. They started threatening to murder me over that because their feelings were hurt. I don't know how many times I've been threatened with death because I hurt white people's feelings. And they really think their feelings are more important than our lives. And now they have Black people shook to the point where Black people actually think that whatever we do, we just got to be careful that we don't offend, the white people. You don't want to, Talbert, I hear what you're saying, guy, but, you don't really want to offend, other people. You want to consider their feelings. No, not when it comes to advocating for justice, for equal treatment under the law, for treating us with basic decency and humanity. I don't have to be like, please, with Mr. White Man, would you mind? No, we ain't doing that. Not doing that. Listen, Stu Hibbert is in the studio. He's coming up next with mid-morning jazz and great black music. If you're looking for a place to worship, check us out at the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ. We're at 35 Alden Street in the city of Springfield, Massachusetts, 11 o'clock a.m. on Sunday morning. Check me out on Friday on the Black Love Experience right here on WTCC at 9 o'clock a.m. I got to move out your way. I wish we had longer to talk about it, but we'll continue the conversation. Don't worry about it. We'll have time to holler again. But listen, stay tuned for Mid Morning Jazz. It's coming up next. And until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember, God loves you. So do I. Deuces.
Morning, brother.
What's happening, Stu?
You are, man. You are. Speaking that truth as always, brother. Keep on keeping on, man. Saw your uncle. We were hanging out the other night, Saturday. Your Uncle Ben.
Oh, yeah?
And cousin Talbert.
Okay.
We were at the Journey in Jazz, man.
Cool.
We were hanging out. It's always good to see Uncle Ben, man.